This is Margaret in Windsor, and I wanted to, some of my videos, since I was kind of evicted but not evicted because there was no eviction because it was illegal. There wasn't, she just sent me a paper that was ludicrous. I'm allergic to chemicals and affordable corporate. I put that on and some of it hasn't gone up. But anyway, I didn't want to focus on that right at the moment, except if they hadn't done that, it wouldn't have put me in a position to go camping. And when I did on the 22nd last month, and I just came back this past Saturday, which I believe is the 7th, came back to a different place, obviously. I'm in Roanoke, and I put up a lot of videos about mind control that I wrote about, the mind control murders done in patterns, and about me, my kidnapping. My real name is Margaret Ann Windsor, and I was kidnapped. My own Uncle George, the illegal George VI, helped take down his own brother, my father, King Edward VIII, married to my mom, American Claudia Ruth O'Keefe Windsor. An imposter married Simpson. And I wanted to say this because this is the 20th anniversary, too, that they're talking about O.J. Simpson. That's where the Simpson came from. And the O.J., I had just finished a living job. I couldn't get jobs anymore when I came here to Roanoke in '86. And I'd written the book about mind control murders, and Larry McDonald, who was a congressman, doctor from Piedmont Hospital in Marietta. Larry Flint was shot in nearby Lawrenceville, and I was in Marietta living at Moonraker Apartments, and the book was called M.D. A License to Kill. And Larry Flint was shot and his attorney killed March the 6th of '78 when I lived at Moonraker. Now then, on June the 23rd, which is my father, King Edward VIII, the real one, no imposter that married Simpson, and became the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. In other words, the New World Order that controls your media, the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, the Jewish, and the Kennedy. Joe Kennedy was JFK's father. He was ambassador from 36 to 46 when he was kicked out, but he helped in my kidnapping and taking down my father in a 99-year seal. And Elizabeth and her brood, they're illegal, but they're there and I'm over here. And where they put me in a hellhole, and she's not made one effort to help me. And the media is controlled by the Rockefellers, the Illuminati, or the New World Order, and Elizabeth is a member of it, and so is Charles. And so will William and Kate and etc. They're not going to give up. They're illegal. They stole it. They're using my money, and I've lived in a total hell here in this country. So have my sons, Mark and Scott, who are heirs after me, and I have no idea where they are. I pray. I'm 75 years old. I'll get to see them, and they know the truth about all this, and they're alive and well. Now, I wanted to, had to leave Affordable Corporate Suites on the 22nd of May. I mean, it was illegal, and I don't have the letter. I've put it on there. It's almost a letter to sue them if you knew what was going on. But anyway, that is, rather than try to fight them, because I'm akin to what's happened to me and how I can't get an attorney and the law doesn't work for me. So I left and I had to go out Highway 11. I got a cab. Excuse me, I came back Highway 11, but that's 11 miles out of Roanoke Hill where I am. You go out Highway 11, Lee Highway, and you get to where 220 crosses, and that's Daleville and Cloverdale and Troutdale. Now, they're small. I'm not sure they're even how they're listed as a city. They're certainly not a township or what. They're just small. And they consist of motels, Daleville does. But my point is, I've had a post office box there in Troutdale for, I don't know, I think 15 years. My point is that the mind control murders, I've told long time ago. YouTube wrote about it, and the book didn't get published, even though I had a letter from the U.S. Attorney and the feds back then. April 1st, 80, I was still full of antifreeze and should have died. I mean, it was hell, antifreeze put in you, and you're supposed to act normal when everybody, I mean, it was a fiasco. And I was illegally taken across the state line back to Huntsville. And a couple months later, I worked for the district attorney, Fred Simpson, and lived at Warren House Apartments. There you go with the Simpson, as in Wallace Simpson, who was supposed to marry my dad. And that's why history records it. It is a total lie. My dad was married to my mom, Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, and an imposter married Wallace. She was an American spy. I was living at Warren House Apartments during this time. I worked for District Attorney Fred Simpson. And it's Madison County, Huntsville, Alabama. He's Madison County DA. My mother was born in Madison, Wisconsin, Sun Prairie, and my aunt is Artist Georgia O'Keefe. Now then, Warren House, of course, where I live, the apartments while working there, is the Warren Commission and the cover-up. I didn't know my identity till 1983. Late, I was in a political campaign, and it was late that year I began finding out about my kidnapping and my real name and my father's name. I was given the name of a twin, Peggy Ann Dempsey Childers, married to Childers. Both twins, Peggy and Carl, had been killed by their mother, Lina. It was a pigsty. And so now I wanted to go back to the recent, the one I was just telling about. These are mind control murders that have been deliberately done in patterns. Mind control is a weapon, murder weapon, that's, you can't see it. It's invisible. So these, over the years, a long time, early, about 1970 or before, I just didn't know the mechanism used till about 76, when I worked for a cardiovascular doctor, and I found out how they put chips in heart bypasses. They can control your decision-making without you knowing it, or modify your children's behavior, and that's what's gone on with these school shootings and a lot of other murders that aren't connected or you don't see, like Virginia Tech here, the 33 in 07, April of 07, and there's been a lot of them that's connected here, right around me here, University of Virginia and Virginia Tech. I wanted to zero in on this one now because I want to mention an FBI agent years ago who said up in, I had a Hustler car furnished by Larry Flint. I had for a year, it was leased, and I was actually up in Grottoes, Virginia, pumping gas and working in a grocery store and for Philip Reinica, and notice the name Philip that she used in all of it. But I wanted to say that the agent, Noe, I don't know if that, I don't know if that was his real name or not, but he was an agent, and I remembered later seeing him back in about 1961 at Brown Engineering in Huntsville, and he was with my husband. So anyway, he came into the store quite often, and I pumped gas. His wife never got out of the car. She actually worked in personnel for J. Edgar Hoover. But now, Noe, Special Agent, or Agent Noe, FBI, told me, he said they've made it so ludicrous that everybody knows you're telling them the truth, but it gives them a chance to help you or walk away. And I've said it so many times, people walked. And so now I wanted to get back to just this part of it. The Tucson, Arizona, the Gabby Gifford, her husband was Mark Kelly and Scott Kelly. They were twins and astronauts. And then the Aurora, Colorado with James Holmes, and they're treating some of these people for mental illness.